Hello, everybody. This is Myki Angeline here, live at the 2017 Aftershock Festival for the Women's International Music Network with the incredible lead badass women of Butcher Babies. We've got
thank you.
Heidi and Carla.
Yes, thank you
and
so much.
you performed earlier today. In fact, my assistant, Amanda, it was her first time seeing you ladies.
Oh, great. Yeah.
She loves how hard you play.
Well, thank you. We like to really go all out. I mean, to us, it's really natural. We go up there and thrash around, and since we're talking about women, sometimes more than the boys. So, no, we go up there and we have a really good time. So I'm glad you got to see it today. It was a shorter set, but it was actually really fun. It was our first time at Aftershock playing main stage. We've been here 3 times, and it's our first time with the main stage. So it was really cool.
The first time I caught you, it was at the smaller stage about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, correct?
Yes, yeah.
And I was so impressed. I was like, yes, finally women that are showing that it doesn't matter what sex you are.
No, it doesn't at all.
You can rock.
It doesn't matter what you look like. It shouldn't matter what you've got downstairs or what you look like.
Exactly. So now you've been doing Butcher Babies for what, nearly a decade?
Yes.
And what inspired you and turned you on to wanting to do this style of music?
All of us, since we were children, wanted to play metal. The first time that I heard Phil Anselmo scream, I wanted to do what he did. I wanted to play metal. So I think it's been a dream of all of ours from whatever moment it was in childhood that turned us on to metal in the first place. And
I think for me, it was I just found the passion in metal. I grew up playing all sorts of different kinds of music. I was in an all-girl pop band in LA for 5 minutes, and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. It just wasn't me. I didn't feel passionate about it. And I've always loved metal music. That's always been my go-to. It's always been everything that I was ever feeling as a kid spoke to me in the metal music. And I would sneak out of my house and I would go to the skate park and I would listen to metal with all the skater kids, and they were all my friends. And those are some of the most fond memories I have in my life. And I see one thing that I really loved about metalheads when I was first introduced was it didn't matter what you looked like, where you came from, what your parents did for a living, what stereotype you were, where you fit in at school. It didn't matter because they liked you all the same. If you liked their music, they liked you. And you bonded over something like that. And I think that was something that really pulled me in, but also kept me.
Metal has always been a safe haven for disenfranchised kids who felt different, kids who felt like they didn't have anyone else, kids going through problems at home. It's always been a safe place for us, I think, and that's why it's so special.
Rock on. Okay, now I want to ask you this because 35 bands, 5 of them are female. That's it. So from 10 years ago to today, how different has it been for you as women breaking into music as women? The struggles 10 years ago to today.
Well, if you look at,
I will say, I know that a lot of people always say there's not a lot of women in rock, but we've been talking about our love for the 90s.
I'll say there's a lot of women. I just feel like not a lot are recognized.
There was a ton in the 90s being recognized. Poe, PJ Harvey, Babes in Toyland, L7, the list goes on. And before that, there was a ton of, there's Patti Smith, Pretenders. There's always been tons of great women in rock, and so I think it's kind of a fallacy that there's not that many. Now in extreme metal, there hasn't been that many. In metal in general, but it's growing year after year. I think since we started, we've seen so many phenomenal women coming up alongside of us or ahead of us, and it's really great.
That's one thing that I agree with you on, and I see this, is it's been, if you were to, we played the 48-hour festival in 2011, and we were the only band that had a female in it.
Whoa!
The only band.
What was that like?
Well, it was fun. It was great. But looking at it now, and we, yes, this festival has 5 bands with it, but with females in it. But I mean, if you look at the vast picture, you see all these women feeling empowered by other women. And you know what? People look at all of us girls in this industry and they think that we would be catty with each other. But to be honest, we're all best friends.
That's
You know,
amazing.
and
That's good.
So Maria's up performing right now, and I had to be here, else we'd be watching her. But you know, we hung out with Ash earlier, and Lizzie's a good friend. We're all really, really good friends, and it's never like a catty thing.
No, and the cool thing too is at the merch booth every night. You know, when we first started this band, we thought we'd have a ton of guy fans because of the obvious reasons. But it's more so now that we have a lot of young girl fans that come to the merch booth. 12, 13-year-old girls say, I want to do what you're doing. And that's the thing. More female musicians, the more little girls you have who say, hey, I can do that. You know, and it's that's how the next generation is going to keep this thing, women in metal, going.
And lastly, I know you were trying to wrap us up, but I have seen, as the festivals have gone on, and I do see a shift, and I think it's because of platforms like yours that help this. I do see a shift. The front row, it's girls.
That's awesome.
And we
That's
tour
good.
we tour with metal bands. We tour with Megadeth, with Cradle of Filth, and it's girls in the front row rocking that shit. And so we appreciate everything that you do and bringing attention to that as well.
Thank you, and we appreciate ladies like you showing that women can
We
do
can do
everything
it.
and not better than men. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Heidi and Carla,
Thank
for
you.
joining me today.